Hey guys, this is Skillen from Fast Fire News here with our Man of Steel series, Season 1, Episode 11, Domination Begins Review. This was the penultimate episode of the Man of Steel series' first season, and also the final penultimate of the current Wave 1 TV shows. Now, this episode had two things it needed to succeed in, and that is the big John Stewart Superman team-up that was teased at the end of the last episode, and it needed to, as a penultimate episode, set up the series finale. Wait, series finale? I mean, season finale. Hopefully this isn't the series finale just yet. So yes, it had to do both of those things, and how well did it do? Let's get into that. Now, first off, let me start by saying that my reviews have been a little, off course lately. I haven't really been doing them in the same style as I did before, and hopefully I do a little better job with this one. So, yeah, just want to say, make a note of that. Now, first off, we got about two things in this episode, two big focuses in this one, and that was, of course, the Superman and John Stewart team up. Superman trying to basically still escape Apocalypse and helping John Stewart out so he would in return help Superman. And then we also had Gordon and Eric and Jimmy's investigation into what happened to, not only what happened to Lex Luthor, but basically trying to find Stoner and Barman. After they basically found them, basically Gordon was shown the evidence against them last week in the last episode that Eric and Jimmy caught, the pictures. So, yes, that's what the big focuses were this time around. And, oh yes, and we also got more of Lex Luthor. We got to see where he was taken and all that. There wasn't a whole lot to that, but we got more of that too. I'll get into that later. Now, first off, I'm going to start talking about I'm going to start off with discussing the Superman's part of the episode, the John Stewart and Superman team up, and yeah, so let's begin with that. All right, so as I said in the last episode, the Apocalypse episode, they did a really good job giving it a comic book feel, giving it a really good Superman tone and feel. And they really nailed it in that one. Cliff Ellsworth really did a good job, really getting the tone down for Superman in that episode. This one was no different. Once again, we got a really classic Superman style episode where you really just felt like you were reading a comic book, and there was just like and everything going on. This is the penultimate episode, and I thought kind of things were going to be going kind of a little chaotic here, and kind of basically getting set up for the finale, but still they managed to find a way to have fun in this episode, which was really cool because that's something that the Man of Steel series on and off deals with as an issue. Occasionally it can get kind of serious and kind of lose the sense of fun just a little bit. It not really in recent episodes. That was more a problem back in the first half of the season, but that's something they kind of have to deal with on and off. And they really overcame that in this one. The writers really just did a good job in delivering that sense of comic book Superman feel and tone. And I mean, yeah, I really like that. I hope that they can continue to get this to stick to this sense of fun and this Superman comic book type feel, because it really works for the show. I think it really does really work. I mean, these last two episodes have really shown me how well this show can be. I mean, how good this show can be with that tone and that sense of fun. Now, I also think that, just trying to make sure I don't get everything jumbled here. Okay, so yes, the tone was really good. That was one of the highlights of the episode for me. The tone, the sense of fun, and, of course, we got the big Jon Stewart Superman team up that we were all waiting for. We got some pretty good we got some pretty good character interactions. They had a really good dynamic going between Jon Stewart and Superman. I really enjoyed those two characters together. And I think we had some pretty good dialogue in this episode between them. I also think that Stacker Pentecost did a really good job with Jon Stewart. This was the first time we've seen him in the role, apart from the bit we got last week at the end, and he did a good job. I thought he really did a really good job. We also got in this episode we got some during the Jon Stewart and Superman part of the episode. I need to find a better word for that. Seriously, I hate saying part of the episode. I feel like there is a word I'm missing. I need to find that word. But the Jon Stewart and Superman side of the episode, the big main focus of this one, we learned some interesting stuff about Apocalypse. Comic book fans will probably have known this already, but we learned that from Jon Stewart that Apocalypse can only be accessed through Green Lantern rings or Lantern rings, period, not just Green Lantern. From Lantern rings or Mother Boxes, and I didn't know that, so that was really cool. That we got that explanation in this episode, that they included that, and it also helped make sense of now why Superman couldn't get off Apocalypse even if he was in better shape. I mean, in better shape. But if he was in better condition, they kind of answered that question of why Superman couldn't get off Apocalypse now, and I like that they put that in there because, one, now we know how Sinestro gets to Apocalypse, and two, Superman obviously can't just go off by himself, and three, we know how Jon Stewart got in. And four, Jon Stewart serves a really good purpose now in getting Superman off Apocalypse because he is the only one who really can do it, basically. He's basically the only hope Superman really has to get off Apocalypse in this episode. So that was really cool that Jon Stewart actually served a bigger purpose. I thought that when they brought Jon Stewart in, he was going to be more of a fan service kind of thing, and also just basically a help to get Superman off Apocalypse, not an important aspect of getting Superman off Apocalypse. So that was really cool that Jon Stewart had a pretty big, important role in the episode. Now, as I said, we got some really cool really cool and really fun character interactions between them, and both of them they were really good in their roles this time around. I already basically said what I thought about Stacker as Jon Stewart. I think he fits pretty well. And Superman also, he had a really good performance too. Moments like the Superman saying that he wasn't getting an introduction, Jon Stewart saying that that was his moment for an introduction. That was the kind of stuff the kind of things I look for in Superman. The kind of moments, the kind of dialogue from Superman, the character, and his interactions with other superheroes and stuff. It was cool that they just included stuff like that. It wasn't this big serious battle. There was this sense of fun. It was just totally Superman to me. And they really got it right. That's what I can say. Cliff Ellsworth is getting Superman as the character right. I think he's starting to understand Superman a lot better throughout the show. He's really getting the idea of the character, and he's doing a better job. The writers are doing a better job writing that character. Now, so we got a lot of good, really fun. We got some fun dialogue this week between those two characters. They both did a really good performance. I really liked Stacker as Jon Stewart, and the whole thing ended in the big battle between Superman, Jon Stewart, Vice, and the Red Lanterns when they followed them back to their hideout area. Now, once again, it was cool getting to see Vice again in the episode. He didn't have a major story in these past two episodes, but it was cool that we got to see him again. Sorry about that, my nose is really itchy. It was cool getting to see Vice again, and it was cool that he got another appearance, and that it was also cool that the Jon Stewart team up didn't have just kind of a random character that they fought. It was kind of cool that they gave they chose a character who's actually been established in the comics to use in this team up. And so yes, we got that big battle at the end That was a really awesome battle, really thrilling fight scene that I thought they did really well. It was really cool getting to see Jon Stewart and Superman fighting together. Not each other, but together. And, I mean, that Easter egg reference, I mean, that was so cool. I mean, I did not think that we would get any kind of reference to Stacker's upcoming TV series, but him using the guns, creating the guns with his ring and using the guns, and that being a reference to that show that's coming out in Wave 4, especially the fact that it's coming out and it's not going to be it's going to be a long time till it comes out, because it's Wave 4, I'm pretty certain. So, the fact that it was Wave 4 and they included this reference, that was awesome. I didn't expect it. It was a really unexpected Easter egg and fan service, and I really liked that. I like that they threw that in there. That was really cool. Also, it just made for a really cool moment seeing Jon Stewart using the guns back to back with Superman. So this battle was awesome. I mean, it was really what I'd hoped for between those characters, and it was really epic. It made for a pretty cool climax to the Jon Stewart and Superman focus part of the episode. So yeah, that Easter egg, I mean that reference, that Easter egg, and the really awesome action we got, and the fun Jon Stewart and Superman dynamic we had going, it was successful. I really enjoyed this whole thing. And then at the end, when they basically talked for the final time, when Jon Stewart was opening the portal for Superman, I'm wondering if there was a reason Jon Stewart was asking about who Superman was, what Lantern Superman was fighting. I wonder if they threw that in for any particular reason, like if it's a hint at something or anything like that. I don't know. But anyways, I really enjoyed Jon Stewart in this episode, so it was kind of unfortunate by the end that his character was going to be kind of leaving the show, since he doesn't have his own series or anything, which, honestly, I would be all for it. If they decided to do a spinoff, I would totally be into it. I would totally watch it, and I'd totally be into it. I'm also thinking, like, maybe they could bring Sinestro in there sometime, if they did that. I don't know. But I would be all for a spinoff for Jon Stewart. I mean, Stacker did a really good job in the role, and I don't know, I'd just really be interested in seeing after this episode especially. So, yeah, if they decide to do that, it was a cool way to introduce this character for a spinoff, but even if they don't, I really enjoyed this team up. I really enjoyed this whole Apocalypse kind of storyline that they did with Superman trying to get off Apocalypse and Jon Stewart being the one to kind of help him out. I really thought they did a good job with it. I thought they did a good job with the tone, the performances, and the dialogue between the characters. It just that sense of fun and that Superman feel, and they just did it, and that reference to that upcoming show. I really enjoyed it. I mean, I thought it was awesome. So I was happy with it, and I thought it made for a really enjoyable episode. Now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to Gordon and Eric and Jimmy's investigation. So basically, we got the scenes of them kind of discussing what they thought happened to Lex Luthor and all that, and kind of concluding that it was probably Yellow Lanterns. This is Gordon confirms this later on in his discussion with Stoner. So basically, they believe it's Yellow Lanterns, and then we got the whole scenes of basically Gordon kind of tracking the license plate for Stoner and Barman's truck or vehicle, LexCorp vehicle that they usually drive in. I'm pretty sure it's a LexCorp vehicle. And then we got basically that whole investigation of them looking for them. There wasn't a whole lot to this early on, kind of just them trying to kind of figure out what happened to Lex Luthor and his men and stuff. But this took a really fun direction. When Gordon visited the donut shop, there was one, I didn't see the whole donut shop thing. I totally didn't expect them to do that. Sorry, I mean, I had this under me, and it's like some kind of, like, I don't know, some kind of craft thing, but I had it under me, and I thought it was like a big bug for it. But anyways, this took a really fun direction when the donut shop thing happened. when Gordon entered the donut shop, because I was like, wait, really? They're actually doing this? There's not a reason, like some serious reason, or Gordon's not just trying to throw people off or something. When I believe it was Eric or Jimmy, I don't know which one of them. One of them asked him if he was really going to get donuts right now in this investigation. I was kind of like, is he really doing it? But he did. He was really going to the donut shop. He was like, what can I say? He was like, what can I say? I mean, I can't remember the exact lines, but I mean, I just thought it was kind of cool that they decided to do this, and just in the sense that they don't usually do stuff like this. And it took a really fun direction when Gordon was basically ordering his donuts and spotted Stoner, and then went to go talk to Wayne and sat at his table, and they he was kind of acting like we got basically Gordon obviously knowing that whole conversation of Gordon obviously knowing who it was, and started trying to act like he didn't. I mean, he wasn't him, like him saying I changed my appearance a lot and stuff. Like when Gordon said he recognized him, we got some really hilarious dialogue from Armo Birch here, who is great in the role of Stoner, and we got some really hilarious dialogue here with those two characters in that conversation. I mean, that was just, I gotta say, in the Superman series, this was probably the most fun episode we've gotten this whole season, and that is so. I mean, I'll get in that, I guess, towards the end of this review, but this was probably just the most fun episode we've gotten. I mean, there was a lot of hilarious moments in this episode. There was a lot of great dialogue. I also thought it was so funny that they decided to actually make Gordon spot him in the donut shop. I mean, it was supposed to be they were basically playing on the fact that it was a coincidence. It actually was a coincidence they ran into him there, but knowing Stoner, it wasn't all that surprising. So yeah, it was just, there was a lot of hilarious dialogue between the characters here. We got some really enjoyable conversations between them, and then I mean, we got some hilarious moments with Stoner, like him. During the investigation where he basically told Gordon where Barman was, because he was saying it wasn't fair that he was the only one who got caught, and the whole thing was just, it took a really fun direction that I didn't expect, that I really enjoyed. I mean, this was like the most enjoyable part of Gordon and Eric and Jimmy's investigation in all the recent episodes. I mean, of all the recent episodes we've gotten with Eric and Jimmy and even Gordon, this was some of the most I've enjoyed from these characters. And this might have been Stoner's best episode. I mean, Armo, I think I said Armo earlier, and I meant Gaizo. If I said Armo, I meant Gaizo Birch, not Armo. Armo is Arthur Benson in The Dark Knight. Gaizo Birch. Gaizo Birch was fantastic here. This was probably I feel comfortable saying this was probably his best episode and his best performance. I mean, you could really tell this was Gaizo here. And he just got to really be himself in this episode. Really got to play on his humorous side. So I really enjoyed everything we got with them this time around. I mean, it was really fun, and I never was bored, not once. I mean, with this. I mean, there's times where Eric and Jimmy's part of the show isn't quite as interesting or compelling as whatever else is going on with Superman, usually, especially. But I really enjoyed it this week. I mean, I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I really liked what we got with those characters this week. I really enjoyed the fun turn things took, the humorous, lighthearted way they decided to do it, and just the decision to go more lighthearted and humorous, with this being the penultimate episode. I like that they took that risk, that they weren't afraid to take that risk. I mean, this is Superman, and the fact that Cliff Ellsworth decided to take this lighthearted direction, even as the season finale, not series finale, is coming up, bravo. I mean, you're really understanding Superman if you're willing to take that risk. You're not afraid to let this be Superman. So they did a good job with it. And apart from that, I'm going to go ahead and talk about what we got with Lex Luthor and Sinestro. Oh yeah, and we also got some pretty funny moments between Barman and Stoner, like just Barman calling him an idiot because he basically gave away he told them where he was, And then we got the kind of interrogation scene of them kind of interrogating him. As I said, we got some good dialogue here. Everything was interesting. I just enjoyed the whole thing. Now, so I'm going to go ahead and move on to Lex Luthor and Sinestro. As I said, we didn't get a whole lot with them this time around. It was mainly Gordon, Eric, Jimmy, and Superman and Jon Stewart's. This was mainly their episode, but we did get somewhat. This was another unfortunate display of showing that Sinestro's not really the main focus of this season, because he's usually narrowed down to smaller roles. Like, every time he's in an episode, he usually gets a really small role in it. That's why I hope he does come back. But we got some, once again, Lex Luthor, when he was taken to Apocalypse and Sinestro put that shield over him. Once again, Lex Luthor was fantastic in this episode. He got some of his most humorous lines in it, and I really enjoyed the dynamic between Lex Luthor and Sinestro that we got. We didn't get a lot of it because it was kind of cut down a little bit, but I really enjoyed what we did get. I mean, seriously, we got some really, really humorous stuff in this episode, and this was some of it. Like Lex Luthor saying that, I mean, he would just, like, stay there. He like, just like, oh, okay, I'll be here, sitting here, like, and up on Apocalypse with all this stuff going on around me. When Darkseid's about to unleash his wrath on Earth, and I'm just gonna, I'm just sitting here whenever you get back. I mean, seriously, Lex Luthor always does a good job, well, pretty much almost all the time, and once again, he was great here. Even just moments like him saying that wasn't very nice when Sinestro was saying he didn't care what happened to him. I mean, we got some good stuff. And then we got the scene with Darkseid and Sinestro where things were a little more tense. And I found it kind of interesting that Darkseid is kind of basically threatening Sinestro now. Like, Sinestro doesn't really have a choice in whether or not he continues this. This was more a partnership, and now it's more like Darkseid is going to have him do this whether he likes it or not. I did. I mean, I thought that was kind of an interesting conversation. It was kind of nice to get to see Sinestro discuss with Darkseid basically what was going to happen, and Darkseid saying that he was basically getting prepared for the final phase of his plan. Now, not sure what I was saying. Not sure where I was going. With that. We wound up also getting, we got one more scene with Lex Luthor where he talked to Darkseid. Once again, I kind of enjoyed this conversation. It was kind of cool to see Lex Luthor meet Darkseid for the first time. I'm pretty certain this is the first time, because I think he introduced himself. I think Lex Luthor introduced himself in this episode, to Darkseid. But yeah, it was really cool getting to see Lex Luthor come face to face with Darkseid for the first time. And then we got that final scene of Darkseid basically coming to Earth, while Eric and Jimmy and Gordon were basically interrogating Barman Stoner. We got that scene of Darkseid coming to Earth and them seeing that he was basically that he was arriving and coming down with his parademons. And this was a really cool way to end the episode. Right on the heels of seeing Superman basically going through the portal to come back to Earth, Darkseid starts arriving, and things start to go full force into the big war we're going to have in the season finale. So that was a cool way to end the episode. It wasn't. We didn't get quite as much with Darkseid in the end as I thought we were going to. I was kind of hoping maybe that Darkseid arriving would come a little sooner, since this was kind of about Darkseid beginning his plan. It's in the title, Domination Begins. But I didn't really mind. I like what we got this week, and I don't know. Honestly, I think I would have rather what we got this week. Honestly, what we got in this episode, I think I would have preferred more than just more action scenes. So, I enjoyed what we got with the Darkseid. I kind of like getting to see Darkseid be more involved in the episode, have a bigger role in the episode. Lex Luthor was fantastic. It was nice getting to see more Sinestro. I hope we get more Sinestro in the season finale, because he's really had a reduced role most of the time. He's kind of been relegated to being Darkseid's kind of a right-hand man, or taskmaster, I think is a good word. I could be wrong. I'm not sure if that's the right word. But So, and he hasn't really gotten to do a whole lot on his own, but I hope he gets a little more in the finale. I also hope we get that enjoy your sandwich line at some point. I really do. And I have more hope for it after seeing this episode. Now, I think that's everything, guys. This was, I mean, I bet everybody's thinking, like, those of you who watch this might be thinking, like, this didn't really reach the heights of Turbo TRX and Drya's Domain and Drynow's penultimate episode. I mean, we got, like, things were more tense and amping up and really getting into the climax of the season. But I don't know. This was more of a Superman penultimate episode to me. I mean, we didn't get that intense stuff we got in the other episodes, but we didn't need it in this one. And I mean, this is a different show. This is Superman. This is the Man of Steel series. And I am really giving a lot of credit to the writers and Cliff Ellsworth that they made such a fun Superman penultimate episode. I mean, I thought this was going to be more action and just kind of getting ready for the big war at the end. And we got so much fun stuff in this episode and a really fun team up. I really enjoyed this episode, and I mean, I thought that they did a really good job with it, and the risks they took, and the fact that we got so much humor, so much good performances from the cast. This was a really fun episode of the Man of Steel series. It's like we're probably gonna get a little more serious in the finale. So I'm happy that they tried to go a little more lighthearted here with this one. And also, after all the darkness we've been getting in the other penultimate episodes, it was pretty refreshing to have some lighter stuff in this, and some humor, and some stuff to laugh at, you know? So, I really liked this episode, and I'm going to drop this episode with a 9.0, because just for the fact that it was such a fun episode, and we got some cool stuff, we got some great performances, I really liked it, and I'm going to drop it with 9.0. That's my rating. So, yeah, guys, we're heading into the season finale next, which I will be watching later tonight. I'm really hyped for it. I really want to see. Actually, it's not going to be tonight. It's probably going to be about an hour to less than that now. But I'm really hyped for it. I've really enjoyed the season. I really liked this penultimate episode. And overall, I'm just really excited. So you guys can let me know what you thought of the penultimate down in the comments below. Let me know what you think about what your hopes are for the season finale. Whether or not you thought the humor in this episode worked for being the penultimate episode, I don't know. Just let me know. Feel free to discuss it. I'm Scaling from Fast Fire News. This was our Man of Steel series Season 1 penultimate episode review, and I really liked it. As I said, let me know what you think. I'm Scaling, and we're out. Thanks for watching.